All right, guys, let's do a little lesson about circumference of circles. So the distance around a circle is called the circumference. So the distance all the way around it. To find the circumference of a circle, you need to know the diameter or the radius of the circle. All right, the formula to find circumference of a circle is going to be, let me put this in the notebook so it's a little bit more clear for you. All right, so circumference is pi times diameter, or pi, sometimes you see it as 2 pi r. All this means, so the diameter is the distance all the way across a circle. You guys know that. A radius is 2 diameters. So it's really 2 radiuses times pi. But a lot of times you'll see this written as 2 pi r. I don't know why they put it in this order, but this is basically what you're doing because one diameter is equal to 2 radiuses. Okay, so those are the same exact thing. So in a circle, again, just to reiterate, you know that the diameter is all the way across the circle. So this whole thing is the diameter, and each one of these is a radius, right? So a diameter is equal to 2 radiuses, all right, which is why we use either this formula right here, if we have the diameter, or we use this formula right here, if we are given a radius. Okay, let's look at some problems here. I'm going to use the problems from that sheet that I posted in the Go Formative. So number 1, it says find the circumference given the diameter. All right, if we are given a diameter that equals 9 centimeters, we want to find the circumference. So we're going to use the formula that circumference equals pi times diameter. All right, again, you need to remember that the value of pi, let's put this over here. Remember, pi is equal to 3.14. And usually the sheet that you are working on will tell you what value to use for pi. I always recommend using 3.14. So we do 3.14 times the diameter. The diameter is 9. So we simply just multiply those two things together. And we get an answer of 28 and 26 hundredths. And that is centimeters. Okay, if we want to round it to the nearest tenths place, if we want to round it to the nearest tenth, this is the tenth, so I look at this number here. Since it is a 6, I am going to round this up to a 3. So 28 and 3/10 of a centimeter is the circumference of a circle that has a diameter of 9 centimeters. Okay, so that is how you find circumference if you are given the diameter. All right, if you are given, let's do another example. If you are given a radius, so let's say now we have a radius that equals 13 inches. All right, if the radius is 13, then I'm going to use the formula 2 pi r, right? Because we need 2 radiuses to make 1 diameter. So I'm going to just substitute my values in. It's going to be 2. All of this is multiplication. Times 3.14 times the radius, which is 13. I just multiply these numbers together. 2 times 3.14 times 13. And I got an answer of 81 and 64 hundredths. My units are inches. Again, I want to round to the nearest tenth. So I look at this value here. It's a 4. So my final answer is going to be 81 and 6/10 inches. That's my final answer. Okay. So if you are given a diameter you do pi 3.14 times whatever that diameter is. If you are given a radius, you do 2 times pi times whatever that radius is. So just pay attention to whatever value you are given. All right, let's look at a couple of problems that are circles. So there I gave you the value. Let's look here. All right, on this example here, we are given 13. 13 is the distance all the way across it. So for this problem, this means that diameter is equal to 13. So that means I'm going to use the formula circumference equals pi times diameter, which means I'm simply going to do 3.14 times 13. 3.14 times 13 in my calculator. I got 40.82, 40 and 82 hundredths. So when I round this to the nearest tenth, my final answer is going to be 40 and 8 tenths centimeter. Since this is a 2, I just drop the 2 and leave it as 40 and 8 tenths. Okay. Here I have the diameter all the way across. Here, it's only half of the circle. So this is the radius. So the radius is 5. So for this problem, I do 2 pi r, all multiplication. 2 times 3.14 times 5. In my head, I know that 2 times 5 is 10, so I'm just going to do 10 times 3.14, and I know that that gives me 31 and 4 tenths. It's already in the tenths place, so I don't need to change anything. So it is 31 and 4 tenths feet. Okay. So if your line goes all the way across the circle, you have the diameter, and you're going to use this formula. If your line goes halfway across the circle, then you have the radius, and you are going to use this formula to find circumference. Okay. This one is also a radius, so you would use this formula as well. All right, guys, you got it. Good luck.